Alright, so this will be a quick overview on Paul's punishment, or maybe not quick, but it'll be an overview. I see a lot of new players asking about it, and I wanted to go over it to kind of give like a quick rundown. I go by TK Shazam on the Discords. I am by no means a professional player. I'm just someone who plays a lot of Tekken, watches a lot of Tekken, plays a lot of Paul, watches a lot of Paul. What I'm saying here is not gospel, but to provide a little bit more insight, maybe for like newer players to maybe on that borderline of intermediate that are curious, hey, what does this mean? What does that mean? What are the differences? Why should I use this punish instead of the other one, right? And more so, hey, here's some food for thought, here's some insight to the character. In this video, I will strictly talk about block punishment. I really want to focus on that, and I think in a separate video I'll talk about whiff punishment and try to be like, hey look, what does whiff punishing mean? What does it mean for Paul? So, in this video, excuse me, Paul has what I like to call like a full punishment suite. There are various categories of punishment that you want, right? Typically, you want a good 12 frame punish, you want a good crouching 13 frame punish, and of course you want your 15 frame launch punishes. Well, the good news is that Paul has all of that, and a little bit more, right? So, standing block punishment for Paul. At 10 frames, you have 1-2. Basic, a little bit of damage, a lot of frame advantage at +8, so you can start doing offense right after. At 12 frames, Paul has down 1 +2 and back 1 +2. Both are 30 damage knockdowns, with back 1-2 being slightly more damage. So why do you want to do one over the other? Back 1-2's range is a little bit iffy, right? So in situations where you're facing a -12 move and you're not certain on the range, right? You're like, oh, the pushback looks like a lot. Down 1 +2 will usually get there. If they're very close, one or the other both work fine. The reason you would want to consider one over the other is this: the opponent's ground options. Let's do spring attack. If I use down 1 +2 and I run in on to get pressure on the opponent can then start doing spring kicks, start rolling, get up kits, etc, 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 right? But if I do back 1-2, I run in at the opponent, you see how he only did the get up kick, right? Back 1-2 leaves the opponent in face down feet away. This changes the options that they have available to them, and some options might be more preferable, right? Sometimes you might have to read, oh, I can spring kick and then launch them, right? Other times you might go, I just really want to do Oki. So if you get the option for the punish, back 1-2, and then, you know, really slam down that Oki. You can't really go wrong with either. Both are solid punishes, but just experiment and see which one speaks to you more. At 13 frames, Paul has no specific option. You just do your 12 frame punishes. At 14 frames, Paul has back 3, a safe high knee launcher, and forward 2. A hit throw that activates heat for Paul. Back 3 is pretty good. It's very rare to have a 14 frame launcher for a lot of characters. Standing at least, right? But its range is rough. It's rough. Forward 2, really good range. So a lot of moves with pushback, you can just do forward 2, easy, right? So when you're not sure this will reach, you can do forward 2. Obviously, maybe you don't always want to use heat, and you're like, oh, maybe I want to save it. In situations where you're not certain of the pushback, but still -14, and you're not certain about back 3, fall back on your 12 frame punishes. Simple. At standing, Paul has down forward 2, hop kick, and shredder kick. Up forward 3, 4. Why use one over the other? Pretty simple. Down forward 2 does not launch crouchers, up forward 4 will. So in block punishment, most of the time this won't matter. The opponent is standing, they're gonna be minus 15, down forward 2 will hit them, right? In rare instances, like let's say you block a low, or you see the opponent, you like sidestepped, or you block something, and the opponent just happens to be crouching, right? Just hop kick them. Down forward 2 will launch crouchers on counter hit, but again, we're talking about block punishment here. It's not likely to happen, but something good to know. Now, why use up forward 4 over up forward 3, 4? The first thing is going to be the combo routes being slightly different. With up forward 4, I can do up forward 4, standing 4, into down forward 4. Right? With up forward 3, 4, because of the 2 hits, I don't get that extra filler hit before down forward 4. Standing 4, down forward 4 doesn't reach. I have to immediately go into my tornado. In a block punishment scenario, either one is a good option. I think the damage will be about the same for both. In kind of more rare instances, a bit more on the whiff punishing side, sometimes the range of hop kicks just kind of awkward. And then you'll see some lows that will go under the hop kick for some reason. It's rare, but it happens. In those situations, if you're aware, oh, this character does a weird funky low, I'm not sure if my hop kick will be consistent against it, right? In those instances, you can do double, the double hop kick, the shredders, and they'll typically reach, whether it's due to their range or their hitbox hitting pretty well. Just be careful and remember to adjust your combo. So if I'm back here and I just throw it out for whatever reason, or if they do some weird low move and it hits, I can squeeze in an extra hit, right? If it's up here, I got the second hit, I can't squeeze in that extra hit. For block punishment at standing, that's pretty much it. For block punishment at standing with a lot of pushback, I'd have to double check on specific options, but typically if there's pushback, you have forward 2. Paul's punishment for Death Fist is typically another Death Fist, but this is difficult but doable with practice. But it's sometimes you just go, I'll just do down 1+2 if I can or something. For standing punishment, he also has, of course, the forward 1, but that's more in the whiff punishment side of things. If you can block a move and do this on block as a punish, awesome. But if you can't, don't worry about it. Just do down forward 2, do hop kick. Crouching punishes for Paul. His crouching 10-frame punish is this little down back one, this little dick jab. It's not that common to run into -10 low, but just the options there. At 11 frames, Paul gets while standing 4. +5, decent damage, pushback on hit so you can back up to reposition, or because you're +5, throw something out if the opponent's very passive. At 12 frames, Paul doesn't really have anything, so you just do while standing 4 again. At 13 frames, Paul gets while standing 3-2. Nice 37 damage into knockdown. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. -13 is pretty common for lows, and it's just always a good thing to have. In the rare instance you get a -14 frame move, Paul can do full crouch, down forward 2, 1. Which, if it looks familiar to you, it should, because it's his forward 4, 2, 1 string. And yes, from crouch you can also do the mid option. Or, if you want to, cancel it. Between full crouch, down forward 2, 1, or while standing 3-2, because the damage difference is minimal, it's really up to you. If you're close enough to the wall, both will wall splat. It's really more about, okay, well, I'm close enough to the wall, but not quite. Alright, I'll do full crouch, down forward 2, 1 to really push them to the wall. Or, Well, I'm not really at the wall, so I'll do wall standing 3-2 into Oki. Right. At 14 frames, or we talked about the 14 frames. At 15 frames, Paul gets wall standing 2. 20 damage launcher, more damage than hop kick. However, the filler is slightly different. If you hop kick, you can do standing 4. If I do wall standing 2, I have to do standing 3. Standing 4 may hit, but I can't get this down forward 4 afterwards. Whereas if I do standing 3, down forward 4 will still pick up. At 15 frames also, like I talked a little bit about it, up forward moves can cancel your crouch and just do the move automatically, right? Like if I want to do down forward 2, I have to get out of crouch and then stand up. Otherwise I'll just do like wall standing 2, right? But if I do an up forward move, it cancels the crouch automatically, letting me just do, whoop, there's my hop kick. There's no, because of the damage increase with wall standing 2 and how it gives you like a regular combo now, I'm always just in favor of just doing wall standing 2. There might be some rare instances where you still want a shredder, but for the most part, wall standing 2 will be fine. At 23 frames crouching, Paul will do, or can do, a delayed hop kick. So you press up forward, you wait a little bit, so instead, and then forward. Same idea as wall standing 2, but you can do standing 4. 39 damage versus 37. A little bit, 2 points of damage, but if the execution to achieve that damage is so minimal, why not, right? For now, that will cover the standing and crouching block punish options for Paul. Hopefully this gives a little bit of insight into the punishment options, why do you want to use one over the other, and just a little bit more detail. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, or if I ever post this on the Discord, just let me know there in the Paul Discord. Have a good one.